Hello, I'm Alex Mansfield, the host of Manny Talks Shooting, and welcome to another episode. This is the shooting podcast where I talk to individuals all across the shooting industry. We'll talk competition, self-defense, concealed carry. If you like this content, check out our YouTube channel, Manny Talks Shooting. And without further ado, let's get to this episode.
Manny Talks Shooting is proudly presented to you by D2 Custom Guns. Did you know that Phil the Groundhog isn't the only thing Puxatawny, Pennsylvania is famous for? That's right, D2 Custom Guns, the home of Dan Heizenreiter and one of the best, fabulous 2011 builders in the country. So make sure you guys go check him out, D2 Custom, anywhere you can see him on the social media, Facebook, Instagram, go check him out. If you see myself, Patches Reader, anyone with the D2 Custom Guns, make sure you go check him out, and you will thank me later. Now, let's get on to the show. Welcome, everybody. Welcome back to another installment of Manny Talks Shooting, a shooting podcast on the internet for you, for me to enjoy. So thank you for checking out this video. I guess let me double check, make sure everything's correct on the stream live recording, because the other day I had a hell of a time recording, as you may know. So without further ado, let me just do some quick checks and we'll see. So that's the one we're looking for, I guess. Right there. Yeah. Perfect. Cool. All right. So without normal. Yeah. Quiet you. We're here. Cool. All right. As you know, the show is probably presented by D2 Custom Guns. Check them out. Dan built an awesome raffle gun for the Buckeye Blast that we're going to be talking about today. You guys may have seen the last episode that was produced of 2 Alpha News with Manny and Corey. My buddy Brad was on there. We kind of talked about the Buckeye Blast. We couldn't talk about it in its entirety because the Matchbook wasn't out yet. So, without further ado, let's talk about the Matchbook for the Buckeye Blast. What is this tab called? It's called Shoot Ohio. Shoot Ohio. There we go. Cool. Boom. Right here. You probably won't see me. You may not. It's all good. So, if you're watching the video version on YouTube or Rumble, but if you're listening to it, it doesn't matter anyway. So, we're just going to talk through it. Excalibur, the 2025 Excalibur Ammunition Ohio State Buckeye Blast Championship presented by D2 Customs. May 1st through the 4th. It's going to be a great epic time, and this is, it's held at the Cardinal Center in Marengo, Ohio. As always, you got the Excalibur Ammunitions is the title sponsor. D2 Customs, I talked to Dan. We definitely made it happen with D2 being the presenting sponsor on this match, which I was really excited to bring D2 to the table as one of my sponsors and asked him to build us an awesome raffle gun. This picture here, if you guys are watching, is 2 new guns for my buddy Chris Gilnett. He'll be shooting the match. His 2 open middies are fantastic and beautiful. So obviously you'll see them in the Matchbook, the Ohio North and Ohio South sections. Coordinator Dan Click, Area 5 director, the interim director of last year. He's the Ohio North section coordinator. And then Phil, I've not met Phil. Maybe he'll be shooting the match. He's the Ohio South section coordinator, taking over for my buddy Brad Krube, who is the match director for the match. Dan Click is running for the president or director at large position. So I expect that we'll be doing a podcast with Dan before too long. Maybe we'll try to do it at the Buckeye Blast. I don't know. It'd be pretty cool if we could, but I'm not going to hold my breath. A lot of things happen at a major match, and I can't promise that for sure. So let's see. All right. As always, here's Code Evolution. They are a great sponsor for the shooting sports. Ryan, dealing with Ryan on that end, with them is freaking fantastic and easy. So I can't complain there. So as always, we do have a match schedule, a schedule of events, guys. So between the setup crew starts on the 24th on Friday, but you won't be able to access the range at all until the first of May. So you can't. Range is closed for setup on the 30th. Staff or the main competition, the staff match is Thursday afternoon, Friday morning, and then PM squads. The PM shooting squads will finish up the match. Yeah. Then Friday afternoon, Saturday morning. So the second flight starts on Friday afternoon, obviously. So. Obviously, so the staff meeting, if you're staff and you're listening to this, I greatly appreciate that. We have an 11 on Thursday, the 1st, 11 a.m. staff meeting, a lunch at noon, and then we're going to have a shooters meeting at 12:30 and 1 p.m. start time. And then hopefully we'll be done by 5:30. We should. I mean, there's only 5-6 squads rotating through, so that shouldn't be a problem. And then obviously staff, we're gonna start shooting the match 8 a.m. On Friday morning. We're gonna have lunch at 12:30 roughly, and 1 o'clock we're having. 1:30 is when the match will resume. For the second flight of shooters, and then kind of proceed. So 8 a.m. starts and 1:30 starts. So that'll be pretty good and simple. And then Sunday the match ends about what, 12:30. Monsoon Tactical came in. I got Vinny at Monsoon Tactical to sponsor as a stage sponsor. He and his business partner Zach are going to be shooting the match, and you'll see most of Team Monsoon. They should have a demo booth. JP Enterprises came in sponsoring as a divisional sponsor. Speaking of division, what rank of sponsors we have? Here we have it. We've got the Excalibur Ammunition, Buckeye Blast, D2 Custom Guns. 2025 sponsors, name and title presenter, obviously Excalibur and D2. Division, Bigfoot Brass, Hunter Constantine Belt, Hunter's HD Gold, JP Enterprise, Summit City Bullets, Vortex Optics, and Southern Bobby Q. Stage sponsors, Cloak and Dagger Solutions. So I want to mention this, right? So Ken over at Cloak and Dagger Solutions is sponsoring Buckeye Blast, Area 5, and IPSC Nationals all at the Cardinal Center with his pasters. So all the pasters you're going to be using on the match are Cloak and Dagger pasters. So if you guys like them, make sure you go hit up Ken and tell him that you saw him at the Buckeye Blast, obviously, or any of those major matches that you do see him at. And go order some pasters that you like. Tell your club to buy them. I know my club will be buying them as soon as we can. So then we have Code Evolution. They're a big sponsor. Hollow Sun, myself, Manny Talks Shooting, with all the work I've been doing and all that stuff. Midwest Shooting Center. Can't thank Dr. GM Sam Patel anymore. We thank him a lot, but he really does go above and beyond in supporting these matches in Ohio. Vinny at Monsoon Tactical, John Royer and Bo at Outdoor Dynamics, Robert King at Red Hill Tactical, Shooters Connection, and Zero Sports for our match jerseys. You guys probably saw a long time ago the match jerseys were for sale. If you ordered them before like March 28th, they'll be shipped to the match. So yeah, great shirts, great. I talked a little bit about them on the live stream. So if you don't have one and you want one, you can order one. So Shield Manufacturing is a platinum sponsor, Steel Target Paint as well, and Lock Grips. We couldn't do these matches without them, so we got to thank their sponsors. Outdoor Dynamics, obviously, here's an ad for Outdoor Dynamics. It's probably an older one, but it's still good. Christina Baker is on the ad, but you should be able to. Maybe this version doesn't have the clickable links. I don't know. Obviously, here's some standard policy procedure stuff for the matches. It's cold range, safety areas, rules, parking area, obey the ROs. Steel targets and tape. You guys got to reset. If you don't reset, you kind of suck. Anywho, just follow these simple rules. You'll see some cool pics, ads, and stuff throughout the matchbook. Gun handling is prohibited in the parking lot. And of course my group chat's blowing up as I'm doing this. Here's a map of the Cardinal Center in its entirety. Well, of the shotgun and then leading to the pistol range, and then kind of here's the overarching map of that. Here's a smaller range diagram as well. Vortex Optics, Midwest Shooting Center. Here's the number of stages. We got 12 awesome stages for you guys with chronograph, 321 rounds. So if you've not made your ammunition for the match, you better go. 321 rounds is what you need to finish. So I say bring 500 and you'll have plenty. Total points, 1,565 points for the match. So that's pretty good. Obviously, you couldn't do a lot of this without Shooter Connection, but hey, like I said, the match director is Brad Crumey from the previous 2024. He ended his term this year as South Section Coordinator. He's still the match director. Range Masters are going to be Corey Katz, Dan Click, Dan Huey as the Assistant Range Master. I think he's going to try to get his Range Master certification this year, so that's why he's helping us out. Myself and my buddy Ken Lane, Manny and Fluffy on stats. Quartermaster Sven, the German Wagner, and Area 5, Leif Kunkel. Area 5 Director Leif Kunkel is Mr. Fix-It. Staff support, my wife Annette, Tanya, and Malika. And then here you see the rest of our lovely staff. Without them, we couldn't do this, that's for sure. So let's just give them a big, big round of applause. But for me, crickets. That's okay. Anyway, further ado, we'll move on past that. So Hunter Constantine, obviously, We want Shrubbery. It's a 31 round Comstock, 155 point course of fire, straddling the start stick with wrist below belt. So this stage is kind of something similar to what we shot a couple years ago at the Buckeye Blast, I want to think, but we made it 2 shooting areas this time. I remember this stage. The Holy Hand Grenade of Anacott, and yeah, these are all quotes from Monty Python, by the way. So if you don't know them, I'm sorry. 31 round, 155 point Comstock course. These are all pretty much all Comstock long courses. There's more Cloak and Dagger pasters, Red Feather Outfitters for putting up with our crap. On the second thoughts, let's not go to Camelot. 'Tis a silly place. A 23 round, 115 point Comstock course of fire. Standing behind start table with palms of both hands flat on table. Gun unloaded, laying on table with trigger guard centered over mark. Upon audible start signal engaged, targets that become visible from within the shooting area. Boom. 23 rounds, 115 points. Are you testing coke and it's migrate? Starting on center, weight release activator pad with wrist above shoulders. Start position upon onboard. Engage targets from within the shooting area. Each moving target is activated and pad in front of you. Activator pads are not part of the shooting area, so you can't stand on them. Comstock, 17 rounds, 85 points. We'll see how this one goes. I don't know. We'll see how this goes. Summit City Bullets, Holson. But 'tis but a scratch. 16 round Comstock course. Feet touching marks on ground. Hands touching marks on wall. PCC muzzle touching lower mark. Kind of a simple stage right there. All right, we'll call it a draw. Staying outside the shooting area, toes touching rear fault lines, wrist below belt. 24 rounds. So let me go back real quick. So stage 1. Let's go back to stage 1 real quick so you guys can see that, because I pulled up the stage sponsor names. Stage 1 right here is an Excalibur ammunition stage. Stage 2, Hollow Sun and Summit City Bullets. Stage 3 is brought to you by Monsoon Tactical. Stage 4, are you suggesting Coconuts Migrate? Stage 4 is Southern BBQ and Red Hill Tactical. Stage 5, 'tis but a scratch, was that 16-point Comstock course. That 16 points on 5 is Coda Evolution and Shooter's Connection. All right, we'll call it a draw. We haven't talked about this one yet. Did we talk about? Yeah, we talked about that one. Standing outside of shooting area with toes touching rear fault line, wrist below belt, 24-round Comstock course. Kind of looks like a Y. Stage 6 is sponsored by Midwest Shooting Center. Stage 7, go away or I shall taunt you a second time. Standing outside the shooting area with feet touching marks, wrist below belt. Upon audible, start signal engage as they become visible. 33 round Comstock, 165 point, 14 USPSA, and 5 steel targets. That one is, let's see, Outdoor Dynamics and Vortex Optics. You're going to definitely need your Vortex Optics to shoot the far targets. That's what I'm going to say. Stage 8, there are no ordinary rabbit standing outside of the shooting area, straddling the start stick, wrist below belt. 32 round Comstock course has become visible from in the shooting area. This stage 8, is presented to you or brought to you by Bigfoot Brass and Zero Sports. Stage 9. Oh, look, there's my good new Manny Talks Shooting logo with the black and the gray and the green. What an eccentric performance. A 32-round Comstock course, standing outside the shooting area with feet touching rear for most fault line, wrist below belt. Simple box-looking stage. Go around the wheel, it looks like. Brought to you by Hunter Constantine Belt and JP Enterprises. My favorite stage of the match, stage 10. Let me just have a little bit of peril. Standing behind rearmost door with both hands or PCC touching door frame. On the side farthest from the door handle. Upon audible start signal, engage targets to become visible from within the shooting area. Comstock 24 rounds, 120 points. This one is proudly brought to you by, sponsored by D2 Custom Guns and Manny Talks Shooting. Really cool door, 2 doors. Stage 11, strange women lying on pawns distributing swords is no basis of a system of government. Comstock 25 rounds, another table start, and this one is brought to you by Stage 11 by Hunter's HD Gold. You're going to need your Hunter's HD Gold to see that table. And last but not least, Stage 12, and that, my liege, is how we know the world to be banana-shaped. standing anywhere inside the shooting area. 25 rounds Comstock, 10 IPSC, 3 steel. And guess what? This one is brought to you by Cloak and Dagger Solutions. Anywho, this whole match is brought to you by all these great, awesome sponsors. Here is the squad matrix for you to follow with your times of needing to be on the stages. So please follow those. And there's the Matchbook, guys. So that's about all the time I'm going to put into this tonight, so I can edit it, upload it, and get it onto you. If I missed anything, you'll probably see some updates in my stories. Lots of good coverage. We will have Practical Shooting live on site with us with Jay Slater. So please check us out. Check it out. It's going to be a good show. It's going to be awesome. But as always, let me shout out my podcast partners. Obviously, the show is brought to you by D2 Custom Guns, Hunters HD Gold, Outdoor Dynamics, code Manny, 5% off. My friends Gianni and Eric at Range Panda RPG 2, 2 off of Farrell Bobby. I'm wearing actually the team long sleeve jersey again because I went and mowed the lawn today and I needed something to keep me cool but keep me warm. So I wore this thing and it's an awesome jersey. Team Laugh and Load, my buddies Tony and Jackie over in Chicagoland. The Wolves down at in North Carolina would make stuff better because they make everything better. Southern Barbecue to keep me full on those breakfast burritos that I would be glad to devour. And don't forget Bigfoot Brass, because if you buy brass, use my code Manny. I think it's Manny5. Manny5, I want to say. If I sell enough of them, I get a case of processed brass. So that kind of helps me out with my shooting. Anyways, guys, that's all I got for you. Till next time, get out and do the thing.